Sunday Coach's Corner with Coach Kimmey and myself, Coach Knox. This
What's up,
is
brother?
the Saturday edition.
I'm going to post it on Sunday. You're giving away our secrets. So because I'm the head coach, I can reschedule holidays.
Of course, yeah.
So since we were still in spring football last week, we rescheduled Mother's Day till tomorrow.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
So I told Knox, I said, I got a lot of stuff going on. I'm gonna take care of my wife tomorrow, and now that spring football's over, got a little bit more time to do stuff like that. So we're recording it on a Saturday, but it's gonna be posted on Sunday.
Well, I didn't mean to give it away, but
That's right, man.
Anyway.
I've been looking for reasons to fire you. Too much vacation. Too much vacation.
Giving away
the secrets. You didn't shave today. I told him to shave.
I didn't think they could see it on the camera.
That's all good. So, we're here. We are. Spring football is over, which is crazy. I feel like we just finished the fall.
Fly by. Yeah.
My goodness gracious. So spring's over. Headed into the summer season, and just going to do a kind of final wrap up of spring and preview a little bit of summer. And then that'll be it until fall. I mean, we're not going to do another Coach's Corner, and this is your last one before you head off to UCF, right? When do you go?
I move in August 3rd.
Awesome, man. That's cool.
I'm stoked.
Yeah, make sure you do all your homework. Be a very studious student.
Oh, absolutely.
But, so this is Coach Knox's last show with us, but he'll be back and forth. He might pop in the fall whenever he can. But and so if you're interested in hosting in the fall, let me know. All right, I want somebody who doesn't take vacation, okay, doesn't go to Mexico in the middle of the season, and somebody who keeps a good secret.
Listen, Coach, there's a good rate. I couldn't turn it down, man.
Yeah, so that's what we're looking for. We are hiring here at the Coach's Corner. So let's start with the we just finished up the spring game, so let's talk a little bit about that.
Absolutely. So tell me, what were start with the lows. Let's get that out of the way.
Yeah, that's what I told Knox. I said let's just start with the bad stuff first, and I don't really call it bad stuff, just the stuff we gotta improve on. I mean, if you walked into it and you were perfect, that you wouldn't have to practice any of that stuff. So, I mean, of course we got stuff to work on, but like Coach Hodges and I and a lot of the coaching staff, we talked about, like, thank goodness this happened now. I remember I started thinking back to last year. Undefeated was kind of the buzz.
Yep.
Like, man, a lot of talent. And then we go into week 2, and we got kind of punched in the mouth a little bit against Melbourne. We made some key mistakes, kind of gave them the game. And then we ended up losing that ball game, and we're 1-1.
Yeah.
And we're like, oh man, okay. And it kind of brought us down to reality. You know what I mean? So that completely changed our season, if you remember.
Set the tone for the next 8 weeks.
Yeah, I mean we then won 6 games in a row.
Yeah.
Took that 7th game to overtime against Harmony after our quarterback got hurt in the second quarter.
And we tried out about 3 different ones to replace.
We did what we could, took that all the way to overtime.
Yep.
And then won 2 more ball games. So we almost, very closely won 9 games in a row after losing to Melbourne in week 2. So that's what I started thinking about. But that happened in week 2 of the season.
Yeah.
What if we were sitting here in the kickoff classic and we're like, oh man, we got 10 more games to go, and we have a lot to fix.
Yep.
And we only got 4 days to fix it before O'Galley. Well, now we got 2 months. So that is the low part of the game. From the spring game. It was pouring, man. I mean, that's the wettest game I've ever been a part of. The field obviously was fine because it was a nice turf field, but obviously the ball and a lot of things that happened with the ball, were tough to recover from, and we really hard to get into a rhythm because of what was going on with the football and it being wet. So hard to get into a run game, hard to get into a pass game, and we just were behind the chains quite a bit. And then, we lost Bo Cole within the first 10 plays of the game, and he went out with a deep thigh bruise, which is like a Charlie horse that just doesn't go away.
Absolutely not.
There was some factors that I think would have kept us in the game had it been a little bit different. It was amazing towards the end of the game when it stopped raining, we started moving the football, and the tempo got back, and we got a lot more comfortable in our offense and got some rhythm going to us, and we drove the ball all the way down to I think the 10 or 9 yard line, and then we threw a pick. But it happens. And to be honest with you, the scoreboard didn't matter to me.
No.
It was more about getting guys in, seeing them in a varsity type situation, getting them to
See
develop.
how they react.
That's right, because we got a lot of young guys in too. We got a lot of guys into the game, and that was our priority: is get them in a varsity situation. Let's see how their spring has prepared them for this moment, and then evaluate them based on that, and see where they fit for next year. And that's what you got to find out.
I'm sure the coaching staff got plenty of good notes about every single player.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was looking for. Is I just wanted to see
That's the purpose of spring.
Yep.
It's to learn who you got, learn what you're dealing with, put together a new scheme if you have to, but
That's right.
keep it simple and fast.
That's right. I think the lows from that game, like we talked about, some of the injuries, some of the weather situation, but some of the highs were we got a lot of guys in. We were able to see them in a varsity situation and get a good, solid evaluation on them. So overall, lot to work on, but good news is we got 2 months to do it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about because you kind of led into it, about the kind of whole evaluation side of it, which kind of leads back into spring, and just kind of talk about the spring season overall.
Let me hear the spring review, Coach.
Yeah. So we, spring game, typically you want that to be a culmination of everything, and there was a lot of factors that just kind of held us back from being fully comfortable with the spring game. But overall, I think spring was awesome. It was one of the best springs that I've ever seen. I think my favorite part about spring was the young guys. I think that next class of champions, that class of 21, 22 guys, I think they're going to be a force to reckon with. And the good thing about, especially those young guys, the class of 22 guys, the incoming freshmen, they've all, I'd say 90% of them have played youth football together since they were like 8 years old.
Yep.
They're best friends. They hang out with each other outside of school. And so when they get on the field, they really want to fight for each other. And that was kind of similar to the senior group from last year. They had all played youth football.
They all played together for about 10 years.
And they hung out all the time. They went, they were best friends, so that to me is what excites me about it. It reminds me of that class a little bit, of the class of 2018 getting ready to graduate here today. I am extremely excited about that young group. I think they're going to do extremely well in their JV season coming up. And then on top of that, I think there's going to be so many guys in that core group that's just going to lead us year in and year out, not only on the field but off the field, and just that leadership side of it that I'm excited about, because that's the stuff that's really hard to coach. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
when you look on the field and a guy's taking a wrong step, or we're making a wrong read, or our eyes aren't where they're supposed to be, you can coach that stuff up. But that leadership aspect of it is a tough thing to coach. So, I'm just excited that those guys kind of have that leadership foundation and that love and care for each other.
That leadership foundation, that's something you're born with. So if you're getting a couple of guys with that, that's perfect.
Yeah, and you can develop it too. You know what I mean?
Over
It
time.
can be developed over time. But there are certain traits,
Through
certain
maturing,
guys.
through maturing, that's
Some
what you
some
develop.
guys don't want to be leaders. Some guys would rather let somebody else do it. But I'm a firm believer that you can develop it over time, even if you're not born with certain traits. But when you have those certain traits, it does help. Like the Lewis Morrises of the world, the J.D. Arnolds, the Nunu Abendroths, the guys that are willing to have that peer leadership, and kind of sit next to a guy and go,
you have those more
I got you.
You have those vocal leaders, and then you have those guys that, I'll show you how it's done.
That's right.
We'll go
That's
through
right.
it together.
Yeah, and I'm okay with the guys that show you how it's done, but to me, you always are going to need the guys that are willing to say something too.
Yeah.
Peer leadership is tough, man. To tell a guy that's your same age as you to what to do, and,
I agree.
and a lot of times that, the only way you can do that is by building trust and credibility. You know what I mean? So, why do people listen to Lewis Morris? Why do people listen to Nunu Abendroth? Why do they listen to Bo Cole? Why do they listen to J.D. Arnold? Because they work the hardest in the weight room. They work the hardest on the practice field. They do what they're supposed to do in the classroom. They lead on the field, off the field, and everything that they do. They make the right choices, the right decisions, and when it's amazing, once you build that trust and credibility, once you get on the field and you tell somebody to do something, they go, oh, well, I trust that guy.
Well, they start gelling together too.
Yeah, right. So that's going to be kind of our challenge this summer, and I'll talk a little about that in a second. But we were able to, our spring season, we were able to teach our schemes and our systems and our tempo and all of our defensive and special teams, and we'll continue to build on that foundation in the summertime. I thought we did tackle circuit every day, did turnover circuit and ball security every day, and we worked on our tempo every day because one of our other goals is to get fast and physical. And I think that's something we need to continue to work on in the summer. I thought, in our game, I felt like there were moments where we were the most physical team, but there was other moments where we were not the most physical team. So we just got to continue to build on that foundation. Acculturate, which has kind of just helped those young guys figure out how we do it here at Satellite Football. I think we did a great job of that. They figured out you always run on the practice field, the uniform you wear, kind of the things that we do that are maybe a little bit different than other places or not. I don't know, but all I know is that we do it a certain way, and it really helped them learn that. And then just like we just talked about, we were able to evaluate players in a game situation, not just in the spring game, but also in the inter squad game for those younger guys.
Yeah.
And we were able to kind of figure out a tentative, I call it a tentative because it is very tentative. We figured out a tentative varsity and junior varsity roster. But as well as I know, you've been in it, you've seen it, and that's why I tell the parents, I tell the players, if you're on a certain team, don't get excited. Be proud of yourself, whatever team you're on, be proud of yourself because you're on a team.
Coach, there's plenty of times over the past 2 years, so I was excited. I was like, I got this guy.
Yep.
He's going to play this,
Yep.
and this for me.
Yep.
And then 3 days before the fall season starts, hey, we're moving up.
That's right. That's
All right,
right.
I'll figure it out.
Right. Or he's ineligible, or
Yep.
he gets hurt. There's so many different things that happen in a season that you just can't plan for. And that's kind of why I say don't freak out. Don't be happy with whatever team you're on. Be proud. Bloom where you're planted.
Yeah.
Bloom where you're planted. But don't think the sky is falling, or don't get too high on yourself either. Whichever way you look at it, because things change from day to day. Like day to day, week to week, month to month. By the end of summer, who knows what the team's going to look like? You know what I mean? So
absolutely.
So we were able to do that, and that's going to help us figure out, who's coming to Alabama with us. I'm still excited about that. I'm very excited about the fact that we get to break new ground, be the first team to leave the state of Florida and go play against some different competition in a different state and see how we match up. So that kind of helped us figure out who's coming to Alabama with us, and we're pretty excited about that. So spring was great, man. It was awesome. We built a lot, great foundation. We just got to continue to build those skills. But I think our biggest thing we're going to focus on this summer leading into that, and then we'll finish with this stuff last.
Cool.
Leading into this summer, I think the biggest thing we need to focus on this summer is team bonding and leadership. If you think back to last year, we had the Nunu Abendroths, you had the Lewis Morrises, and these rising seniors now were kind of role players on that team.
Yeah.
And they're thrust into a leadership role, and there's a void there that needs to be filled, and they're trying to begin to flap their wings in the sense of leadership, and starting to figure it out. You know what I mean? Talking of our new U crew: Alex Goodale, Bo Cole, Nick Bergeron, J.D. Arnold, Trevor Fish, Spencer Husenfeld. Those are our 6 varsity U crew guys.
Yeah.
And there's a void that needs to be filled. Somebody needs to fill it, and we just got to help them learn how to be those leaders and develop as leaders so they feel comfortable in games, on the sideline, in the hardest moments, picking our team up, carrying us to from the valley, from the bottom, which is where we were in the spring game. And that's kind of what I said. Do you want this spring game to define our season? It can define our season in the most negative of ways. And we could say, what are we going to say at the banquet? Are we going to say, well, it started terrible and then it ended terrible? That defined our season. Or are we going to use this as a catalyst for change? Are we going to
fuel the fire?
Right. We're in the valley right now. We're in the shadows. We're in the darkness. Are we going to let this carry us from the valley to the mountaintop, and carry us from the darkness to the light? And I think from what I've seen from this team is that's what we're going to use it as. And that's kind of what I said. I said we're all rowing in one direction. The boat has left the dock. We're going. And we're all rowing in one direction. If you're rowing against us and you're rowing backwards, we don't need you. So that to me is going to be the thing that I'm excited to see this summer, is the more leadership aspect of it. So we got some neat ways that we're going to do it. We're going to lift by position group. And there will be like a specific position group captain, because when you're in a game, you know how it is. It's not necessarily team leadership. That has to happen in moments, like if you're in the huddle or you call a timeout. But it's more like position leadership, like Trevor Fish on the D line going, hey, you got to go here, A gap or whatever.
Yep.
J.D. Arnold at the linebacker level, Bo Cole, the DBs. So it's all within a game, within each play. You got to have those captains by position, whether they're U crew guys or not, that can help guys make adjustments and continue to lead them in tough moments. So that's what I'm excited to see this summer. We're going to lift by position group with position captains to help develop some of that stuff. Obviously, we'll continue to do 7-on-7 with local teams. We got Vieira scheduled, Holy Trinity scheduled, Bayside scheduled, and we're still waiting to hear back on some other teams. But we'll kind of do home and aways against those guys. We'll always do our team camp out. That's always fun. We do the freshman talent show, and guys get to kind of we spend the night at the field, do like midnight football, watch a movie outside. It's always fun. Kids love it. And then team building stuff, I'm thinking about maybe taking them to an escape room or go by position groups to an escape room. Or doing a leadership reaction course. We've done that before, where you kind of it's connected, partnered with FIT, and it's like a little scenario, and you got like 6 boards, and you got to make it across a river, but the 6 boards don't get you there. You got to pass it to teammates, and you start to really gel and trust with each other. So some of that team building stuff is going to be huge this summer. Schedule-wise, we'll our varsity guys will lift. We're going to separate the groups this year. So our varsity guys will lift from 9:15. We'll lift, run, speed stuff, and then do football from 9:15 to 11:15. And then our JV guys, along with some of the other non-football group, because we have other sports that lift with us, will run first at 10 a.m. So we'll all run together, and then they'll run first at 10 a.m. and then they'll go into lift right after that, and then do some football stuff after until noon. So it'll be from about 9:15 to noon for the whole team, but at different times, obviously. But we feel like the JV needs to be in there separately, because those are the guys that need the most physical development in the weight room, and they need a lot of attention, which is good, and that's what we want to provide for them. Especially those 9th graders, they're going to. A lot of them, it'll be the first weight room. So we want to give them the most attention possible and help them out in their physical development. And then right before, school's out next Wednesday. And once it's out, I'm going to be in there with a bunch of guys, and we're going to be trying to finish up our weight room renovation, that $50,000 weight room renovation, putting TVs up in there, brand new power racks, brand new bars, new weights, new rubber weights, TV or pictures and signage. So lots of different changes in the weight room that are happening that I'm really excited about. But that's kind of the thing that we're focused on this summer too, is to get that all finished. And then by the end of summer, right before school starts, we'll have our new uniforms. So we will. The plan is the guys who have the best attendance in summer will get to wear the new uniforms first.
Oh, yeah.
And when we do our new uniform unveiling on the first day of school, so that's kind of the plan with that. And then obviously guys are going to be going to college football camps here in and here out, during June and July as they kind of figure out their recruiting. So my kids are here, so so that means we got to go. But the last thing is we have today, this evening, we have 100% of our seniors, our 15 seniors that play football, that 100% of them are graduating today. So I'm really proud of that, and I really wish them the best of luck, and I'm excited to see them in action and see them all together, get a picture with all of them, because I'm just proud that they're all going to graduate and move on, and about half of them are going to play college football. So that's pretty sweet too. And then the next 3 days, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, is exams for our team. And I just, I encouraged them before we left on Friday to finish strong on the exams, and you're a student first and an athlete second. So take care of that first, and everything else will take care of itself.
Absolutely. Well put.
Yeah.
Well, that's it for our Saturday edition of the Sunday Coaches Corner.
It's been real, man. You've been a great host. Thank you for everything, brother.
I appreciate it.
All right. Thank you, guys. Yeah. They're going on, what, another ring?
Oh, I think we're going back to back.
I mean, you got Mackenzie Milton back.
Hey,
that helps.
Coach, he's like 8th favorite for the Heisman right now.
Well, you just get your own Heisman trophy, and then have them declare it.
Hey, we'll call it the Mackenzie Milton Trophy.
Yeah, right.
Another undefeated season.
Right, exactly. So anyway, for Coach Knox, I'm Coach Kimmey, and this is his last one. See me if you want to help us next year in the fall. And this is the last spring episode of the Sunday Coaches Corner, and we'll see you guys in the summer.
Absolutely.
Go Scorps!
Go Scorps.